do this. Good morning, everybody. This is the morning show. Spencer Israel, JC Parets, Chartmaster Rick, doing the charts for us today. We appreciate that. I think the theme of today's show should be like no fear, just charts, right, JC? No fear, just charts. So we'll talk about the charts. We'll talk about the price action. That's what we do here. There's a lot going on. There's a lot to discuss today. Macro level, individual level. We'll have Brian Lund on the show, Kenny Glick on the show. We'll have Riley on the show, right? It's Wednesday, right? Yeah. So Riley will be here. That's pretty much the plan. Does that sound good to you, JC?
Oh, I'm already on. I didn't
You're
realize
already on. Yeah.
Intro.
You're already on.
What's up, everybody? You know, I was just getting some charts together.
Yeah.
You know, I love how Spencer's starting out the show like, oh, we're no fear. We're just looking at charts. I like that. Good morning, everybody. How's my voice? I'm getting there, right?
You're getting there. You're progressing. You're
Harmon
definitely.
says I'm looking very serious. I didn't realize I was on video.
Yeah.
That's how I look when I'm charting.
Yeah.
In case you guys ever wondered what JC looks like when he's looking at charts, that's what I look like.
Let's take those shades off. All right. Why don't we just do some state of the markets here?
Yeah, let's get right into it.
And let's get the lay of the land.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we've got the Dow futures doing nothing this morning. Literally. Not doing anything at all, Spencer. 0.0, Mr. Blutarski. 0. Fat, drunk, and stupid is no way to go through life, Spencer. No. Dow is flat this morning, 47,002 and a quarter. S&P 500 futures also 0.0. Right? I'm like the Dean Warmer of technical analysis over here. 6,800 for the S&P. NASDAQ 100 down 0.1%. So not a 0.0. More of a D-Day situation, down 0.1. Yeah, 25. You see what I did there? So you like that, huh?
You can say that.
25,550 there. 30-year bond futures down 1/3%. 117 even. Crude oil futures down 0.5%. 60 and change. Copper flat, just under 5 at 495. Gold up 0.5%. 39.80. Trying to climb back above that 4,000. Silver up almost a 4%. 47.65. Holding in there pretty good, that silver. With the VIX still above 19 over there on the VIX. Over in funny money land, you know, crypto, had a couple of tails over the last few days. Bitcoin there coming back yesterday, coming back on today's session a little bit as well. 102,430 after falling below 100,000 on back-to-back days, or back-to-back sessions, I should say. Ethereum. 3,300 down up 1.4% on the day. Solana 158 up 2% on the day. Total crypto market cap. Spencer Israel, after losing $1 trillion, we're back. 3.37 trillion. 3.37 trillion after a $1 trillion correction in crypto. $1 trillion is not nothing.
I was quite surprised at the I was quite surprised to see it below 100 last night, right?
That scared some people. You know,
yeah.
One of the things I like to think about is if you would have told me several years ago that the biggest fear in the market would be Bitcoin crashing down to 100,000, I would have probably signed up for that, right? No?
Yeah, because in the grand scheme of things, is that so bad? Probably not.
Like crashing down. Remember, it crashed down to 100,000.
Yeah,
so if you would have told me back in 24 or in 23 that people would be in tears, like literally crying, throwing in the towel, giving up on crypto. Have you seen some of these people coming out talking about how it's ruined their lives and they're moving on and all these things? This is great. This is what capitulation looks like, guys. People are out there miserable, literally in tears, with crypto crashing down to 100,000. So I just thought, you know, someone who's been around the crypto environment for over a decade, you know, I chuckle at that kind of thing, you know.
Yeah, I think I also appreciated the move a little bit because, you know, we've been talking about, you know, Bitcoin becoming a less volatile asset than it used to be. And it's nice to know it's still got game. It's nice to know that it can still move a little bit. You know what I
No
mean?
doubt.
So
No doubt. We're getting
still,
asked about the fart coin in the chat.
no.
Fart coin down here at that March support actually looks pretty good down here. I'm not in it, but nice call. Who called that out? Somebody just called that out. SM2 2022. That's a good one.
Yeah, I don't have any shitcoin exposure at the moment. I could
probably
shitcoin
exposure.
No, I could probably get some, but
I mean, if you're gonna buy something, you want to buy them on the cheap, right? You want to buy them on the cheap. I want to give a shout out. Speaking of crypto, I want to give a shout out to Steve Strazza. If you could throw up that slide too, please.
Yes.
Nailed this trade. 100% return for Steve Strazza.
Is that good
on the Bitcoin puts? Is that good?
It sounds good.
On the Bitcoin puts, 100% return. Got this email yesterday. I was like, nice trade, brother. Nice trade. Steve Strazza still has a hot hand. Nice trade. If you could drop the link, anybody who's not getting the breakout multiplier trade alerts, like I don't know what you're thinking. Steve Strazza, I mean, listen, I like to consider myself pretty good at this. I got to tell you, Steve Strazza, best trader in the business this year. Nobody's doing it better than him. And I talk to everybody. I can tell you right now, no one's doing it better.
Steve is doing what good traders do. He took a little risk off the table and is enjoying the fruits of his labor. That's what good traders do.
Love it. I love it. Good for him. Steve Strazza down in St. John.
Right.
Down in the old Caribbean.
Which we learned yesterday is not St. John's. It is singular. There's only one John.
It's not a possessive. It's not, right? It's like St. Thomas, right? I think it's just St. Thomas.
Yeah.
Right. That's cool. All right. So she's the best quote, I think, is Joe Fahmy. Shout out to Joe Fahmy. Joe Fahmy says, when the NASDAQ is below the 50-day moving average, just go to Vegas. Just go have fun in Vegas. When the NASDAQ is below the 200-day moving average, you go to Hawaii. Right? That's how
it works.
That's how that works. So that's probably one of the best quotes ever. If my book ever comes out, that quote's going to be in there. Because, especially for someone like Fahmy. Like, Fahmy doesn't short stocks. Fahmy doesn't care about sector rotation. Fahmy trades growth stocks. Always has. Like, growth stocks that are like growing earnings. Like, that's just like his game. We got to get him on the show. Talk about that.
Hey, man, I've tried. I'm punting. The ball's in your court, okay?
Dude, he's a busy man. He's a busy man.
I would love to have him on the show.
No doubt. I'll give him I'll talk to him. Can you throw up that slide 3. You can see Strazza's trade there. Great trade. Throw up the link to the breakout multiplier, Spencer. There it is. So, as soon as Bitcoin was breaking down, here we're looking at the IBIT. So it's the Bitcoin ETF. I hate how we're just giving Strazza all this love. He's not even here. And we're just talking about him. Is this how it is when I'm not around? You guys just talk about me the whole time?
I mean, a little bit. Not
Definitely
the whole time.
Not. So there it is. So as soon as he broke down, Strazza gets in. Makes perfect sense. Nice little profit there. Nice trade.
So I don't know about you, JC, but I'm seeing just a ton of fear out there, right? Just that people are, but what I'm not seeing is like any like concrete reasons, right, for the recent weakness, right? The AI, maybe
government
the AI
shutdown, AI
the
bubble,
AI trade is
overvaluations. Billionaires are telling you to sell stocks. Wall Street analysts are telling you to sell stocks. The CEOs at the banks are telling you to sell stocks. All these experts pretending to be breath, I love all the breath experts come out now all of a sudden, right? You notice? It's hilarious. None of these motherfuckers are counting. They're not counting anything. They're just, they divide two numbers by each other, be like, oh, must be bad breath. Market's going to crash. I got a good one. This one coming from Bloomberg. Throw up the new slide 4, and then we'll get into some of these other names. Hold on. Throw up the new slide 4, and then we'll get into some of these other names. It wasn't just the S&P 500 and the Dow and the NASDAQ and the Russell 2000 that made new all-time highs. So did Japan. Latin America made new recovery highs. Japan, all-time highs. China, new decade highs. Europe, new all-time highs. You got more countries around the world hitting new all-time highs since 1999.
No, not just 1999, December of
Yeah.
1999. That that is telling. I don't think that's the bullish point that you think it is. Or let me put it this way.
Well, let me put it into context,
Yeah,
right? So what people fail to realize, so this is just evidence that there's strength around the world, right? What people fail to realize is that this is very different than 1999 because in
right.
1999, very few stocks were going up.
That's right.
Almost all stocks were going down. In fact, the Dow Jones Transportation Average had already peaked a couple of years prior. Most people don't like to go and count, but the Dow Jones Transportation Average, I'm looking at it here, peaked in May of 1999, almost a full year before the Nasdaq, right? So these things were already making new lows. Almost no stocks were going up, right? It was really just a few names. It was similar in 2007, by the way, where it was just a few names going up. You know, it was like some energy stocks and some agricultural names. You know, real estate was falling apart, financials were falling apart, home construction falling apart. You know, every discretionary, the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
So again, just further evidence. It's not just the United States; it's globally. And by the way, you talk about 1999, how it might not be so bullish because we saw it in 99. You know, we also saw it in the 90s. We also saw it in 97, 98. We
Yeah.
saw it in 94. You know, right? We saw it in the late 80s. You know, it's evidence that it's a global stock market. It's not the U.S.
No, I know,
U.S. is
but
about 50% of the world, by the way.
what I was saying is, for someone, if someone didn't know better, they would look at this and say, "Well, I know what happened a couple months later, right?" And that was the top right there.
Yeah.
So this is not good. This is actually quite bad, is what you're saying. But I don't think that's the case. I sort of roll my eyes at any comparison to the .com bubble, because this is nothing like that, for a multitude of reasons. And even if it was similar, no two bull markets are the same. No two bubbles, if you even want to go that far, are the same. And just comparing today to then, just because prices are high, I think is kind of just silly. So
Yeah, I mean, there's no evidence at all that we're in any kind of bubble or mania of
no,
any
I know,
kind.
I know. But
So
even if we were in a bubble, and it was like consensus that we were, no two bubbles are the same.
well,
So
I got to tell you, I wish it was a bubble. I love bubbles. I wish we had them more often. But this
yeah,
this just
I know.
seems like a pretty normal uptrend to me. So throw up. Let's get into the trannies. Throw up Expeditors. So this is Expeditors. My wife is in the logistics business,
Yeah.
and I asked her yesterday, I'm like, "Yo, what's up with Expeditors?" This was the best post earnings reaction since '08. And look at this thing, monster breakout, new all time highs for Expeditors.
This is where your attention is?
This is where my attention is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why? Where should it be, you think?
I don't know. I guess like you're looking for things that look good. So I guess, okay, I
No,
guess.
I'm
Yeah.
looking at the most important stocks in the United States. So
Okay.
one of the bellwether leaders of the Dow Jones Transportation Average fits that category, does it not?
I'm not going to fight you on this today. So sure.
Am I crazy? So this is one of the larger components of the Dow Jones
Yeah.
Transportation Average,
Right.
which makes it one of the most important stocks in the United States of America. And it just broke out of a 4-year base to new all-time highs. Should I ignore that?
I don't know of anyone else who's looking at this.
Well,
Right.
how many people do you know actually take the time to go look at stocks?
How does this compare to the actual average?
Well, next chart. Does this look like a top to you, Spencer?
I don't really know what that looks like to me. Yeah, you've got a green semicircle out there, but like that the green's doing a lot of work here. So,
Well, is this a would you agree that this is a range bound consolidation over the last several years?
for sure.
Okay. And historically, do these range bound consolidations normally resolve in the direction of the underlying trend, or do they tend to be reversals?
Sure. Usually.
Right. So this green arc reiterates that asset prices trend because we know we have the data. And so the much, much higher probability outcome is that this multi-year consolidation does in fact resolve in the direction of the underlying trend. By the way, just like all those other consolidations have been doing over the last few years. Not sure if you've been paying attention to all the other sectors. So all those others broke out. So you could bet that this one's not. When you go and take the time to go one by one, there are 20 stocks, and you see what they're doing. You can short transportation if you want. I think you're fucking crazy. Short interest is off the charts in this group, by the way. And when you go one by one, you'll see very healthy. C.H. Robinson, new all-time highs. These things look great. These things look great. And then when you compare the transports with the NASDAQ 100, right? Because people are like, oh, JC, nobody owns the transports. Everybody owns the tech stocks, right? That's what they tell me. I'm like, great. Well, if everybody already owns them, who's left to buy them? And if nobody owns the transportation stocks, who's left to sell? Right? So when people are like, oh, JC, nobody cares about the transports. People own tech stocks in America. Yeah, I know. Everybody knows, right? That's why speculators, asset managers are the most net long of the NASDAQ ever, right? Because everybody knows, right? Everybody owns them. So this is the 161.8% extension of that entire rally. And so if transportation were to ever come around and start getting rotated into relative to the NASDAQ, this would be a perfectly logical place for that to happen, and we're seeing it. What do you think about
that? I'm looking up how much money is actually tied to the Dow Jones Transportation Average.
How much money is tied to it?
Yeah, well, the IYT, right?
The IYT is not that. The IYT is the S&P. That's the S&P transportation. That's not the Dow Jones.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, shoot.
What's you gonna come at me with this shit, bro?
Wait.
You think I just woke up yesterday, bro? Come on.
What's the Dow Jones?
What is the Dow Jones?
Yeah. What's the corresponding fund?
I don't think there is one.
There isn't an ETF?
For the Dow Jones Transportation Average? No.
Really?
Nobody cares about the transports, bro. Nobody cares about the transports. And that IYT thing you were talking about before has very little liquidity also.
There's no ETF for the Dow Jones transports.
No, did you just realize that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. People really don't care.
What do you think I'm making this up? Nobody gives a shit.
Nobody cares. Holy cow.
I know.
Wow. That is that's remarkable stuff.
When are you gonna start trusting me, bro?
That wow.
When are you gonna start trusting me?
Okay, wait. So let's bring it full circle. What was the point there that was being made?
Well, for 140 years, we've looked at markets and asset prices trending, and you could see that when industrials and transportation are moving together, you got the companies that make the goods, and then you got the companies that deliver those goods. When they're moving together higher, those are bullish times. When they're trending lower together, those are bearish times, right? When one's going up, one's going down, or one's going down, one's going up, that's evidence of potential changes in trend. So a breakout in transportation to new all-time highs from a multi-year base, I think, could be one of the most constructive developments in all of financial markets. That's my point. So it's about the implications, and when it's a weight of the evidence business, Spencer. So when you go one by one and look at all 20 transports, which nobody does because they're fucking lazy, I do. I can assure you, they look very constructive, very. And by the way, do the same thing with the 30 industrials. In fact, you were in the conference call I did yesterday. You saw them. Were you not paying attention?
No. I watch. I definitely watch.
Then what's so bearish about the 20 transports and the 30 industrials we walked through last night?
No, there was a lot of bullish charts last night, certainly. No, the point I was making, I was not trying to pull up a chart. I just wanted to see what the AUM was of Dow Jones Transports Fund, and how much JC was making a point about how no one owns this stuff, and I wanted to see who owns it. Turns out literally nobody owns it because unless there's a mutual fund I don't know about, but
No,
yeah,
they
nobody.
own the stocks. They own the stocks themselves. These stocks are in the S&P 500. These stocks are in all these mutual funds. People own these stocks. They just don't own ETFs that own the stocks.
Obviously, so yes, people own them, right?
Yeah.
Obviously.
I mean, this is FedEx, UPS,
yeah,
the railroads, Union Pacific, CSX, right? All of these names, and then the airlines. United and Delta are pushing up against all-time highs, and they suck. These are the worst companies in the world, and they're pushing up against all-time highs. So even the worst ones, and now you're looking at JB Hunt. Look at C.H. Robinson making new all-time highs. Expeditors, all-time highs. Riders still moving higher. Madsen moving higher. Wait, all of these things.
Pushing up against all-time highs is kind of a strong word for some of these things. Delta?
Yeah, you really want me to pull up the chart? You're going to go there?
Delta's all-time high is like high 60s.
Right.
Isn't it?
Yeah. If you're going to make me do it, I'm happy to do it. I'm happy to do it. Just for you, Spencer. Just for
Delta's,
you.
Isn't Delta's all-time high in like the 70s or 60s? I don't know. My chart sucks today. I can't even load anything. So
all right, let's do it. Here we go. Go ahead. All right, start with slide 3. Let's do it quick, and then we'll. We got Kenny in the house yet or no?
Yes, we do. Kenny's here.
All right, let's do this quick, and then we'll go to Kenny. Ready?
Pushing up against is a bit of a
Ready?
stretch.
Let's go.
I think.
Let's go. We're gonna do it real quick, and then we're gonna go to Kenny. Ready? C.H. Robinson, all-time highs. Go. These are the 20 stocks in the Dow Transports. Go.
Oh God, I don't.
Expeditors, new all-time highs. Go. FedEx, does this look like a major top, or does this look like a huge decade-long base ready to resolve higher? Go.
Uh-oh. We ran out of charts. There we go.
Kirby. Does this look like a top? Looks like FedEx to me. Looks like Expeditors before it broke out. Next. Uber, been pushing up against all-time highs. Nice little reversal yesterday. Go.
Different story. Yeah.
Ryder. Still above that key resistance.
Look at that stick.
Look at that stick. Made a new all-time high like a week ago.
I know. I'm just commenting on the stick.
Go ahead. Madsen, same thing. Little failed breakout in this range, but look at that massive uptrend. Go ahead. Now look at the 3 railroads. Union Pacific, nice range within an ongoing uptrend. Next. CSX, nice range within an ongoing uptrend. Next. Norfolk Southern, nice range within an ongoing uptrend. I don't see anything bearish about any of those. Go ahead. Delta Airlines pushing up against all-time highs. Anybody gonna argue? Go ahead. Next. United pushing up against all-time highs. Anybody gonna argue?
I don't think any of these are pushing. Even like Union Pacific. Union Pacific, the all-time high is like 280.
Hold on. Go ahead. Go next. Then here's a shitty one. Southwest. Is this like a top or a bottom? It's like a bottoming process to me. Next. American Airlines. Is this like a top or a bottoming process? Looks like a bottoming process.
Do you actually want to own this? You don't actually want to own this stuff.
Alaska Air. This is like a top or a bottoming process to you. It looks like a bottoming process.
You don't actually want to own this stuff, though.
Next. Avis is like the worst thing ever. Little failed breakdown, came back and now consolidating. Doesn't look like a top to me. Go ahead. Old Dominion is probably one of the worst, right? Still above that support from a few years ago. Really range bound, if anything. Go ahead. Landstar, literally one of the worst, but look where it stopped going down. At that former resistance from 2018. Not a coincidence. Next. And then UPS, right? Where did it stop going down? At the same levels it stopped going down at the end of COVID, or at the beginning of COVID for that matter, right? Same levels.
Okay, but
is that looking at top or a bottom? And then here's the next one.
Do you actually want to own any of this stuff?
One more.
Oh my Lord.
JB Hunt. Failed breakdown and now squeezing higher. And then here's the composite of all of them. Is this one. You gonna short that? After seeing what I just showed you, you're gonna short that? I think you're fucking crazy. All right, go ahead. Questions?
Yeah, how many of those are you actually gonna own? Or
I own 2 of them.
Okay, I want to ask.
I'm looking to own more. I don't own Expeditors, so I'm probably gonna buy that one.
All right.
How many do you own, Spencer?
That was fun. Well, like you said, a bunch of those are in the major indexes, so I own them. I own those.
Right. So I own them because I own.
Do I know which ones they are? Not really.
I own them because I own the indexes, but in addition to that, in tactical portfolios, I own 2. I'm gonna buy more.
I presume that I own UPS.
I actually wish
would
I owned
just-
more, to be honest.
All right, Kenny, what's doing? Dude, they are killing these stocks and earnings reports. Just getting crushed out there. Let's talk about that.
It's been a long time coming. They ain't come from my club, they tugging. Putting up numbers, 99 pounds, and I still kept it 100. Hola. Yeah.
Yo, what are you doing out there? These stocks are getting taken out back behind the woodshed. Wait, you're on mute. I can't hear you. What's going on there? What's that about?
That was last night, homie. Everything's all right now.
Everything's good now?
Yeah. What?
You sure? I don't know.
Generational lows were put in last night. What's up? There has been some real work last night. This is probably the most active overnight session of the year, as a matter of fact.
Like who are you talking about?
I'm talking about the market in general. I'm talking about
Oh.
the recovery. I'm talking about what are you talking about? Talking about what? I'm talking about something. What am I
Talking
talking
about-
about? What's
Talking
his
about
name?
practice? Because I'm talking about like
That's
you
what I'm
know,
talking about. I'm talking about practice.
talking
That's
about I'm talking about junky stuff like talking about Pinterest, for example. How's AMD looking?
Yeah, Pinterest was. I haven't looked
All
at
right.
it yet, but let me show you something. Let me show you the cues.
AMD's
Again,
on it.
that's where I've been
Oops.
focusing on, because again, the idea of the blow off top and Palantir lent to the blow off top idea of the market, and we got it. But then you
Wait.
remember,
I lost your charts. I
yeah,
had them in a
you got to remember.
All right.
You got to always remember rule number one of shorting in 2025, or probably going on, might be now forever. Shorting is short lived, and you're going to die. So you know it. I mean, you can't fight this market. So when it does actually go down, you always have to just assume is a faux show bro waiting to crush the shorts. So here's your overnight. This is the NQ futures, which are the Qs. And you had some selling yesterday. Again, yesterday's trading was possibly the greatest trading of the year, because I love it when rational thought comes into play. So Palantir had an an aftermarket reversal that worries some people. Word spreads of a blow off top. Oh my God, a stock just reacted negatively to good earnings. That must be the top of the market. Yeah, good for you. It'll last for maybe a day. And it did. And it was fantastic. So last night, there was some more selling. And then what happened? The selling was met with a fake out, shakeout, and a monster breakout. So if you think we're going to go down again, right? These lows from the overnight, I'll give you the Q lows. That's around wrong prices. So this 612, let me get rid of these red lines. This is really important because I want to show you these algorithmic patterns. So I know I didn't want to get into this right with you, but this is what we do every day. I'm looking at 15, 20 days and 1 month data, right? So here's your 1 month. So the 1 month VWAP, once we got into this gap, everyone's been talking about the gap fill. I'm with you. The gap fill was going to go to 112.46 because that's the top, of the range from the last time. And that's telling us where that real algorithmic support is. 112.46. Look what we did overnight. 112.14, 112.46 right here. We held it. And next thing you know, bull market's back, baby. If it ever went away, it didn't. So you come in this morning, and the first thing you got to be doing is buying AMD, because first of all, it's a faux show, bro, VWAP break on an earnings report, but we're in a bull market, and it's AMD, and it's still going to 500, no matter what you think. So your default is still to crush shorts. They overstay their welcome every day, every time. And listen, I don't know what's going to happen later, but I don't need to know. That's the best part about this trade, because the money's in hand. You raise your stops, or you can't use stops in the pre-market, but you understand when you're buying down here at 239, you're selling 241, you're selling 242, you're selling 245. And yeah, now we have the luxury or the wherewithal, or if you want to hold it into the opening session, because you don't know what's going to happen at the open. So right here, where it broke the high from the pre-market, that's where I'm dumping it. And if it breaks it, I'm out. And then we'll just, explore the market for the next wonderful trade, because this has been the most active year of my life. I've never seen the market like this, and may it always continue, whether it be going up or down. These trades transcend all market events. So we are in the right place at the right time. And thank you very much. The Clove is getting hammered. I sold it last night because I'm not holding stocks into earnings reports. So now, once again, thank you so much. This is why I don't hold stocks into earnings reports. This is why I don't own stocks. So now I could come in fresh as a daisy. And if I want to buy the stock again, I can. Same thing with SRAD. Sold that bad boy over the last couple of days. It popped, it dropped. Oh, if I want to buy it back, I can. But there is so much activity. I want to show you something else. I know I'll keep talking, but I got to go in a second. Even this worthless IPO yesterday, garbage, right? I got to put in my account, one of the worst IPOs ever. And then you get a faux show, bro, VWAP break. And what goes from an awful 5 days of owning the stock, you dollar cost average, you take a little bit size because you got the setup you love. 1 minute multi-day VWAP reversal even works on this garbage NAVN from stock I own right now, and probably will be my whole entire portfolio because I don't want to sell it for a loss. And it's just incredible trading, friends. Really is.
All-time low yesterday in the NAVN. Generational lows.
Generational lows, yeah. But those might be generational lows that we saw in the overnight. And listen, I hope I'm wrong. I hope there's more volatility because I don't mind. I mean, I need stocks to go down to give us the faux show, bro, VWAP breaks, the trade that continues to pay us. So, I don't want the market to crash, but it wouldn't be a bad thing because we're in the right place at the right
you
time.
probably want if you could ask for something, you probably want what just happened, right? Like
I want more of this. These last 3 days have been off. These last 2 weeks have been incredible.
Yeah.
A little twinge of volatility, lots of earnings reports, lots of faux show blows, some blow off tops, and of course, again, the sector that we were trading yesterday. We caught the lows on a lot of those uranium stocks. UUU was phenomenal yesterday, just exploded out of the gate. Bought that one. We had the USAR. So incredible action. And guys, don't take my word for it. Next week, we're going to have an open house. Everybody come in and experience this stuff because, me patting myself on the back for a couple of good trades, come and see it. Come and see it live because, I only do 3 or 4 trades a day. Yesterday, we had like 20 to 30. The other day, we had 89 different opportunities show up because we just got these scanners running. They're just spitting out the ideas. And you just got to choose one. And every price range, every time frame, it really is an extravaganza.
Kenny, how many scanners does one need, truly?
You only need me because I am Scan Man. But and by the way, if you don't know my secret identity, look at the chart here. Hang on a second. Let's take a moment. I don't tell people this too often, but I am Scan Man.
I can't hear the song.
Oh, you
Is that
don't
what
see
you're
it.
playing?
I'm looking at the wrong chart.
I don't know what I'm looking at.
I'm looking at my chart like, why don't you see it? I need a time warp right here. Anyway, Scan Man, yeah. All you need really is just my favorite scanner is obviously volume based. So I look for block trades in the dark pools. That gives you a heads up of some big trades going off. I look at unusual option activity scanner, looking for big trades going on in the options, 100,000, maybe 1,000 contracts, and then that's it. You're just looking for highs and lows and VWAP breaks. And now with the help of NOS and Solid and you guys, we got the VWAP scanner that's coming out, and that's going to be culmination of 10 years of hard work, and this is going to be pretty damn extraordinary because we really got to another level with it over the last couple of days. So I'm very excited.
Guys, pay attention to this because Kenny, there's an ongoing inside joke between Kenny and I about scanners. Kenny's not like a scan man, in reality, so when he's talking about a scan, it's for a very good reason. We used to know this guy that would invent a new scan once a week.
Yeah.
So that's the ongoing joke. Kenny and me, for that matter, neither one of us are like scan guys, right?
Yeah.
So when we're talking about a particular scan, Kenny with some of this stuff, me with some other scans that we run, it's for a real reason, right? It's not scans for the sake of scans.
Yeah. My favorite one,
I didn't know that.
NASA scientists built the scanner as if they know about trading. They know about rockets. What do they know about trading?
Is that one of the ones that guy invented?
Yeah.
It's a NASA guy invented
NASA
a
scientist, yes. They know all about the market. But yeah, it's been great. So listen, if you don't know what I'm talking about, next week, open house. And then I'm going to be doing a class if you guys want to take November 22nd. I get together on a Saturday just to show you this wonderful faux show bro trade, the blow off top, the finger of God. And, again, these chart patterns replicate every day. And when they replicate near VWAP, it gives you a pretty damn good edge in trading, especially if you're going to be a day trader and live in the moment like we do.
We'll talk more about that open house next week or later on this week. But Kenny, hitthebait.com, guys. Trade with him every day, and you won't regret it. Happy birthday, by the way.
It's my birthday. Yes.
Happy birthday, Kenny.
Thanks. 54, and
you look great.
Going strong.
You look great.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Keep it up, my man.
Have a great day, everybody. I'll see you.
Speaking of space, Jared Isaacman, Trump just announced nominated for to run NASA. Right here in my town, founder of Shift 4 Payments, right? FOUR. Shout out to the locals out here. Listen, quick, I want to talk about the faux show bro. Kenny talks about the faux show bro. It's a great setup, great trade setup. He talks about it intraday. I look at the exact same thing, bigger picture. If you throw up that healthcare, what is a faux show bro? Faux, the fake out. Show, the shakeout, and the bro, the breakout. Faux show bro. Fake out, shakeout, breakout. Well, here you are. There's your fake out in healthcare. There's your shakeout, and now there's your breakout. The faux show bro on a monthly candlestick. How do you like me now?
Yeah, you said this last night, and I kind of turned my head cockeyed for a second. I've never seen it applied to a monthly chart before. I guess in theory, I guess the pattern still applies. Why wouldn't it?
It's all the same concept. Scott Redler, friend of ours, he calls it the red dog reversal.
That's right.
And Brian Shannon calls it like a whipsaw from failed moves come fast moves. Kenny, very creative as we know, calls it the faux show bro. But it's all the same shit, right? It's a shape. It's people call this a bear trap, right? Or a bull hook. There's a zillion names for the same shit. The participants are caught on the wrong side and they get squeezed. It's really what happens. There's a bunch of different ways to quantify it and describe it, as we've learned. Very creative. Faux show bro, red dog reversal, all kinds of shit. Same thing, right? So I think that's interesting. And then here's probably the most bearish development over the recent days is this one. So I wrote a post today. It should be up on Trend Labs already, called The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Yep, it's there. If you go to trendlabs.com, you could see that there. So throw that one up so you could see it. So the good, we talked about all the indexes all over the world, they're making new all-time highs, right? So the good is actually great. The bad, the fact that the New York Stock Exchange, stocks on the New York Stock Exchange above their 200-day moving average peaked on September the 11th. Sure, that's bad, but that's been bad for a month now. Russell 2000, still hasn't broken out. Officially, there's still a traffic jam here. Yeah, that's bad, but that's been bad for a month, right? So the bad has already been there. And then here's the ugly. Throw that up, slide 30.
And then we're bringing on Brian.
So here's the ugly. And the ugly is the equally weighted NASDAQ 100 with a pretty nasty little failed breakout here. Can you throw up the chart? Throw up the chart. Bueller?
Chartmaster Rick.
Hello? So this is the QQEW, right? And as you can see here, if you want to zoom in there, you can see the breakout above the prior cycle highs, right? And then that failed yesterday, right? And you got a bearish momentum divergence as well. So this is the equally weighted NASDAQ 100, which if you're one of these, it's only 7 stocks. Well, take those 7 stocks out of the equation completely. And this is the rest of them, essentially. It's pretty nasty. So this is, when we talk about the good is pretty great. The bad, the bad's been bad for a month, so it's nothing new. This is the ugly. This is something new. But within the context of everything else, I think this is ugly, kind of like a pug. Like a pug looks like it ran into the wall, like face first, right? Right, face first into the wall, but still kind of cute. Like a pug.
Yeah, okay. I'm with you.
This is like that. This is ugly like a pug.
I think I'm with you.
Yeah. So what do you guys think in the chat? Ugly like a pug? You know how like a pug looks like it just ran
I
into the
know,
wall
I know
face
what you're
first?
saying. Yeah.
But it's like kind of cute, and you kind of, but it has trouble breathing. This is like that.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Okay. All right. Brian, let's bring
What I
Brian on
got?
that.
Jay, we've been friends for a long time. Make the call.
I mean, this is pretty professional, guys.
Nice show you got going here.
BC in the house.
It's called Pug Ugly.
Pug ugly. All right.
Yeah.
I like it.
By the
Yo,
way, so
how-
we've got the Red Dog reversal. We've got the faux show bro.
Yeah.
I'm going to call mine the Lund loop. It drops down, loops back up.
I like that. I like that. It's almost like you stole that from somewhere else. You know?
I know, right?
Almost. How was Fami's piano playing?
That man is a renaissance man. I will tell you. He not only can he manage stocks, but he can play piano and play drums.
Did he play the drums too at his party or no?
Yeah, so he played. They got up and did some Journey, and he got up there and banged it out like a pro, and it was great. It was great.
Good for him. Good
Sorry I
for
missed
him.
you guys. Sound like you guys had a good time earlier in the week.
You know, it's Vegas. I mean, Vegas is awesome. You know, I got to go to Vegas in March, you know, for one of these things. And I'm trying to get my wife to come with me because I was just there. And I'm like, dude, Morgan would love this and she needs it. She's got a zillion kids, you know. I'm like, hey, let's go to Vegas. She's like, for what? I'm like, you know, remember the old days we used to go all the time? We live in
So I'm gonna get-
California. It's so close.
Yeah, so when I was growing up, if you had a boring Friday, someone would say, "Hey, let's go to Vegas," right? You'd sit in the car and literally like that scene in Swingers. But I'm going to drop some like insider knowledge here for Vegas. So if you go to Vegas and you're not into the strip and you're not into gambling and strippers and all that stuff, 45 minutes
Why do
outside
you
of
have to
Vegas.
group all of those as like if you're into the strip, you have to be into the strippers.
Yeah,
Why
well,
can't you be into
strippers.
this?
Yeah, let's just leave it there.
Like
So
I don't gamble and I don't deal with strippers, right? I don't see the reason to pay for it. You could just do it the old fashioned way. But I'm into the strip, so I'm 1 for 3 on those.
yeah, that feels like a whole different show. So if you're not into that stuff, 45 minutes from the strip, like literally 45 minutes from the strip, is a place called Mount Charleston. Now, Mount Charleston is almost 12,000 square feet, 12,000 feet up. That's as high as Breckenridge.
Wow,
You
yeah.
go up there, beautiful hiking. I went out there with Shannon last February. I was out there at Joe's thing. It's a whole different world, and you won't believe that you are in Nevada, and you won't believe that you're just outside of Las Vegas. So that's the insider tip there.
Does it get cold up there? Probably, right?
Dude, there was snow. I was up there, a couple weeks ago. Snow. There was snow on the ground still.
What
By the way, what's going on with you, man? It's just painful watching you. You look like you're not doing so well. What's going on, man?
lost my voice, I have a zillion kids, so they were all sick, family was sick, so it got me, but I'm on the way up, my voice was basing this weekend, had a nice little breakout on Monday, and we're getting some follow through now
Sure.
over the last couple days,
Yeah, everything's a chart reference. I get it.
What can I tell you, bro?
Morgan's a lucky girl. I'll tell you.
She doesn't like my jokes, so I like to throw that out there, with you guys. BC Lund, I am told that the market's about to crash. Everybody knows, right? It's practically certain at this point. 2% off the all-time highs. Stock markets all over the world making all-time highs. Russell 2000, NASDAQ, Dow, S&P, micro caps, the micro cap index closing at an all-time high. I'm being told the market's going to crash. Do you agree?
Yeah, look, I think one of the problems we have in the market, in society now, is everything is binary. Everything is black or white. I'm with this team or that team. You're 100% wrong. I'm 100% right. There is a vast region between crash and bull market. And I just think we're in a little bit of a rest period right now. Now, will that turn into a crash eventually? Could, I guess. But right now, I just see the market pulling back. I see you having to be a little bit more selective in the names. I see a lot of the go-to names that people have been trading like crazy this year are starting to break down. So no, I don't think a crash is necessarily on the horizon, but I think right now you get towards the end of the year, my favorite time of year, I took some money out of the market about a month, like literally took it out. Like people, it's funny. People will sit there and say, I've made so much money in the market, and then they'll just leave it in there. And then when the market corrects, all that money goes away. I actually took money out of the market about a month ago, and I'm just having a relaxing, enjoyable fall. I'm getting my Thanksgiving, the list of the dishes we're going to do. So yeah, so right now I'm kind of watching, but I don't think a crash is inevitable.
Brian, you've got a couple years on me, right? Man, you're still,
Thanks for reminding me of that.
oh, you're still, young, good-looking guy, right?
Mm,
No, you're not,
thank you.
good. You're good.
They
But you
call me El Guapo. I get it.
have a few years on me. I mean, that's
Yep.
just math, right? I count.
Yep.
I don't know if you heard. So you know, you were around in the 90s. You were around in the early 2000s. I really
Yeah.
didn't come into this game until '03, right? So like obviously I've studied those. I could tell you what happened, and I've studied all the markets before that, but you lived it. And back in the late 90s, most stocks were falling. There were literally only a few stocks going up. I didn't live it, but I've gone back and I've counted, so I can tell you that is true. But you lived it, and so that was a real bubble, and it did come collapsing down, and had massive ramifications. I am not seeing any of that in today's market, but so many other people seem to. So as somebody who was there and lived it, any thoughts?
Yeah, I've got a lot of thoughts. So I think, people always focus on 1987 when we had that big crash. And I was there for that too, 23% on one day. But that kind of came out of nowhere, right? When you look at what happened in 2000, when you look at the financial crisis, there were signs that that eventually would happen. Like I believe right now, as we sit here, I believe that this market we are in right now will end absolutely horribly at some point. Like I believe money's too easy. There's too much incestuous relationships between companies. There's too many derivatives. But will that happen tomorrow or will that happen in 3 years? I don't know. Everybody knew in 1996 and 1997 that it would end horribly, but we didn't know when it would end. Everybody knew in 2007 when 1,200 square foot houses around here were going for $1.5 million. Everyone knew it was going to end horribly at some point, but nobody knew when it would happen. So I think we will have a shakeout. I think we'll have a reckoning. I think we'll have a generational event, but I don't see it yet, and I'm not smart enough to know when it will happen. Someone on a Spaces yesterday said, well, the market is telling you that this is not a time for high PEs, blah, blah. I said, that's because that's what price is telling you. Price is going to eventually tell you what the fundamentals are. And so I'm just going to focus on price, focus on the faux show bros, the red dog reversals, the Lund loops, But again, I took some money off the table. I'm kind of light right now, and that's by design. I like this time of year. I've got 2 kids that are getting close to being out of the house. I want to be present. I don't want to wake up on a morning like yesterday and be freaking out and have anxiety going, So I paid myself a month ago because this was a goddamn great year, and people should be doing that. They should be paying themselves if they did really good this year.
Brian, you focus on certain specific stocks. Not so much all stocks, right? I like to think about all stocks, but I know you focus on specific ones. So in this market, rather than rotating into some of the areas that are working now that weren't working before, like these healthcare names that haven't been working forever, now are the best, like these transportation stocks that haven't been working forever, now are the best, right? Like, how do you think about that rotation? Or you rather just wait for the others to come back? Like, how do you think about it?
So there's levels of rotation. Like there's like subtle rotation where you're going from hot stocks to maybe not so hot stocks. Then there's bigger rotation, like you were talking about earlier, where you're going from big cap tech to railroads. Like when it's that situation, I'm going to be stepping back because I'm not really interested in trading railroads. I'm really not interested in trading shipping stocks. They just don't move in the same way that I need them to move for what I'm doing. So in that situation, I'll just kind of step aside and wait for the fatter pitches. When it's more of a subtle shift, subtle rotation, maybe a temporary rotation, I'll go for some of the other names that are acting well. I mean, if you look right now, there's I put this on our watch list last Friday, and I think it broke out on Monday. But like, look at Las Vegas Sands, right? So Las Vegas Sands is breaking a long-term trend line. It broke it. It had a great little week, about a week long consolidation. Then it's starting to move the next leg up. Go back to July. Look at Win. Okay. Now, Win is on my no trade list. Now, that's a long story I can't even get into, but Win broke out. It broke that long-term downtrend in July, right? So, who's been talking about casino stocks? I haven't heard a lot of people talking about them, but those are some names that are looking interesting. Now, on an anecdotal level, you were in Vegas. I was in Vegas. I walked up and down the strip all day long on Saturday. That place was pumping. And
Yep.
we saw a couple months ago, all the press was saying Vegas is dead. Nobody's going to Vegas anymore. That was the time to go, okay, that seems a little too far one way. Let me look at the charts. Let me see, are they firming up? So there's always going to be places, I think, to find action. It's just a question of, how much that rotation is going. Is it going too far out of your wheelhouse? Is it going into stocks that are more investment vehicles than they are trading, and then acting accordingly?
I got a few charts that I just want to walk through. If you could throw up slide 2. Curious, you're you're an old school guy. You appreciate this kind of thing. And then I got one more that I'll add here. So yeah, so throw up slide 2 there. So there. So Apple. I don't know if you heard, Brian. Kind of a big deal. Highest monthly close ever. Go ahead, next. IBM. Highest monthly close ever. Next. These are all Dow components of the Dow Jones Industrial Average for those who are new to markets.
And there's
Kind
my
of the most
25-year base right there in Cisco. Love it.
25-year high in Cisco. Next. Walmart all-time highs, and then Amazon all-time highs. Refresh it. It's the new slide 5 there. But Amazon also hitting new all-time highs. So, when you see this, by the way, Caterpillar all-time highs also, which, to me is a market bellwether, most definitely. How do those things make you feel?
I think one of the things that we have to remind ourselves of is that for most of this year and most of the bull run we've had, Apple hasn't participated in, right? So it's now just starting to participate. And again, I think what we're seeing here is that this has been a very, very forgiving market. Like, this market has given a lot of grace to people that don't have a methodology, that have gotten in at bad entry spots. It's bailed them out again and again and again. I think the market's getting a little more selective, right? I think you have to be a little bit more of a stock picker. You have to be in names that are acting well, that are breaking out from bases. So yeah, and again, this just goes to the point that I don't think the market is going to crash tomorrow. I think eventually this will all end, but right now it's being a little more selective and just picking your spots.
Phil Blosky, good question here, Brian. How did it feel in 29? How was that? Were you around?
Took me a second. I had to wait. Okay, 29. Good. I like that. That's nice. Right. I'll tell you how it felt in 87. It felt like.
How old were you in 87?
87, I would have been 20. I would have been 20. And I'd been
you
trading.
Remember well?
What's that?
You remember it well?
I remember that day. I literally remember the day because
when I was 20, things are a little fuzzy, a little blurry.
Yeah. Well, this was a weekday, so I was still present.
Nice,
I was taking a class at community college in investing, and back then the only way you could stay up with what was going on in the market, especially when I had a job after school, so I was driving around, was the radio. There was a radio station out here called KMNY, Money Radio, 1600 AM, and Money Radio, yeah. Buzz Schwartz, old school guy, long passed away. Every 15 minutes, they would cut in to say, okay, now and it just kept getting worse and worse and worse. The only difference is you didn't have the echo chamber of social media, right? You had to wait until you saw Louis Navalier that night on, Wall Street This Week or whatever it was. I can't remember the show that told you how bad it was. I think if we had
Louis Rukeyser on Wall Street.
Rukeyser, sorry, yeah. I think if we had, see, this stuff. I think if we had the echo chamber of social media back then, it would have been widespread panic. Now, the only other time I remember it being kind of that bad was at the absolute depths of COVID. I remember the day that we bottomed. I went to the supermarket. The shelves were bare. It was rainy out here, cold in Southern California. I literally stopped at the gunsmith to pick up ammunition because I just was like, so yeah, those are the 2 days that stick out in my memory as being pretty interesting.
I'm here it is.
Yeah, right. And what does that tell you? That's you just did something right on the magazine cover thing. That was probably the biggest buy signal in history right there.
Earth closed. If you're not fucking buying stocks with Earth closed, like what are you waiting for? So this magazine came out, the market bought on the very next day, by the way.
Yeah, and isn't there one out there, The Death of Stocks, right? There was one like that.
The Death of Equities.
Death
Business
of
Week,
Equity.
1979. What I would give to have that magazine. Anybody out there listening, you are going to be my best friend. I will owe you a favor for life if you find me. You don't even have to buy it. I'll pay for it. Just find me where to get it. Death of Equities, 1979 Business Week. I mean, dude, I have so many of these magazine covers. I mean, I got
somebody today is going to the librarian of a massive metropolitan library to say, "Do you have a back issue of?" Right.
This is the bottom in 1974. This is the all-time low of the stock market. A bear, pulling a Kool-Aid man coming out of the New York Stock Exchange. I mean, if that's not the bottom, I don't know what is.
You know what sucks though is today we don't really have anything like that. Those were like one focal point where we could say, oh, here's a signal, but now it's all over the place all the time. New Yorker. Yeah, nice.
That was the bottom of the 2002 low. Here's the crash of 1999 that never happened, obviously. Here's Time Magazine. Is the boom over? This is 98. Obviously, it was not. And then, of course, one of my personal favorites, the mighty dollar. Remember this one? How do you think the dollar did after that?
This is interesting, but it also tells me you may have too much time on your hands. I don't know.
Dude, I've been collecting these for probably since like the great financial crisis. Probably since I've been collecting this, since when? Since I think it was February of 07 when that first Bear Stearns fund blew up. That's when I started being like, I started taking snapshots of my whole Quotron because I saw the Dow down 400 points for the first time in my life. I'm like, oh my God. So that's
surprised you haven't frame those and put them up on your wall.
I did. When I had a hedge fund, in like 2011, 2012, I did. I actually had that, the one I just showed you, the New Yorker, and I had this one framed also. Let's see, where is it?
Was that Osprey Capital? Is that what that was?
No, this was Eagle Bay.
Eagle Bay, yeah.
Home sweet home. So how did real estate do after that, right? This is what you were just talking about, right?
Yeah.
So I had those hanging on my wall back then. So I probably had too much time on my hands back in the day, but I've been digging through boxes, finding, because I had to give a presentation. I'm giving a part 2 on Friday. So that's why I have these handy, because
So here's a question for you. You got kids. So are you telling your kids about the market? Are you teaching them about that? And is there a new offering coming from whatever you guys call it now, market media or whatever?
Technical analysis for toddlers.
Yeah.
No, we do, because they see me on my laptop. They're like, not anymore. They know what I'm doing. But before, I was like, Daddy, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, this is Disney. Like, what do you mean this is Disney? Oh, this is McDonald's, Starbucks. I show them the charts of companies that they know.
Yeah.
I was very, they know Netflix.
I was very lucky during my kids' youth to work from home, to trade from home. And I remember one day my daughter came in, she was like 4 or 5, and I was trying to trade. I was in a position and she's like, what's going on, Dad? And I said, look, we're looking at this stock and green is good. Green is good. She's like, yeah, Dad, green is good. We're like cheering, green is good, green. And then about a week later, she came in and said, Dad, green is good. I said, no, red is good. Because I was short. I'd gotten short something, and her head was just like, I thought it was green is good. I'm like, no.
Well, I'll tell you another thing. Every Sunday for their entire lives, at 6 o'clock or like 5:50 or so, I'm asking my kids. I'm like, what do you guys think? Green or red on the open? Oh, 6 o'clock for us, 3 o'clock for you. So I'm like, what do you guys think? And they're like, green, Daddy, green.
That's funny.
Yeah, isn't that funny?
And you got them in sports betting? Have you got started that with them yet? Are they?
They're too young for that, but like I have friends whose kids are, and like I'm still not sure how I feel about it. I haven't figured that out yet. I have time, so I'm not worried about it yet. But like I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
I'm sure they've got Miami Hurricanes bed sheets and stuff like that, right?
Oh, these days it's all superheroes around here, bro. My kid actually thinks he's the Incredible Hulk.
That's funny.
So that's another story. Mr. Brian Lund, tell the folks where they can find you.
You can find me at thelundloop.com. We've got a great community there. We'd love to have you there. You can sign up for free, and then I can't wait to see you there. See the Lund Loop, right? The red dog reversal, the faux show blow. Now blow, well, bro. We've got the Lund Loop now.
Well, sometimes we blow it. BC Lund, thank you, sir.
Yeah, feel better, buddy.
Thank you.
Right. That was awesome. Brian's great.
He is the man. I mean, he's an OG. I mean, he's
Yeah.
been around. I don't remember him not being around.
Right. Yeah, no, he was one of the first people that I discovered on my own on I don't know if they still call it
And when was
FinTwit.
that?
2015. You know, I'm a little later to the game than you, but yeah, 2015 for me. And
How old
he
are you,
was.
Spencer?
I'm 34. I had to look at. I had to look down at the year for a second.
34. 34.
I had to look down. What year is it? Right. Okay. 34.
I was 34 in 2016. I remember
Yeah.
it well. It was a great year. Great
Yeah.
year, 2016.
All right. Let's bring some youth onto this show, and then we'll get out of here. We got Riley Roseby in the house, and I think he sent us a few shots.
Little Brian Lund catching strays.
No. I was talking about me and you.
Mm-hmm.
I was. Wasn't I? All right. Riley, where is there it is.
Riley.
What's up, gentlemen?
What's up?
Oh, you know,
Good morning.
more countries around the world than any other point in the last 25 years is what's up.
Is that what they're saying? Is that what
That's not what
No,
they
that's
are
not
saying.
what they're saying, right? Actually.
That is what those of us who count are saying.
Got it. Got it.
Like Spencer said, they're nuts. Nobody's saying that.
No,
Nobody's
they're
saying
not.
that.
They're not saying that.
Riley, you know, for those of you who know what Riley does every day is that, you know, he's in there in the weeds looking for companies that can actually go up 100x, right? So if you're trying to get 4% on your portfolio, first of all, you're watching the wrong show. Second of all, Riley's definitely not your guy. But if you're looking for 100x, and you know, it doesn't mean you're going to sit there and buy something and wait for it to go to 100x. It could be 20x, 30x, 40x, 10x. There are big moves along the way to take advantage of an opportunity that goes 100x, right? And these names, this is where Riley lives. So with that being said, Riley, what are you seeing in this world?
Well, you know, I mean, we've kind of talked about it. Growth stocks are getting a little shaky. But did you guys see the Beta Technologies IPO yesterday?
Tell me more.
This is an electric aircraft manufacturer.
What could
based
go
in
wrong?
Vermont. Nothing's going to go wrong, obviously. But they IPO'd yesterday, and in yesterday's tape, they actually held up well. Today, they're even holding up well. I don't know if we can throw the chart up there. Let me see what number it is. It's towards the bottom, Rick.
There it is.
Cool. Yeah, take a look at that. So we opened at, what was it? Just shy of, or no, $34, closed at 36. That is a great sign, right? Day one, out the gate, we're above that opening print. I'm absolutely loving that. So that's kind of where my focus is, because I'm really, 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 really excited about this whole innovation in aviation trend. Like JC, we're talking about companies going up 100x. If I think back to the history within the stock market, I mean, the names like Ford, GM come to mind as these bellwethers that in their growth stages had these absolutely epic moves.
And that was technology at the end of the day, right?
Well, okay. If we want to get into like a philosophical question about markets, like aren't the premise of markets just to unveil and usher in new technologies? Some of them are going to stick. A lot of them are going to die. But that's just like the life cycle, the ecosystem that is capital markets. I want to give a big shout out to Haramander in the chat, over under on Riley mentioning Tesla. I'm gonna fizzle your little party there. Tesla does look a little interesting. We're right below 450. I think I saw this morning when it opened. That's kind of the mark that I'm watching. Yeah, we got rejected there at 450. Rick, I don't know if you got that chart there as well. Slide 43. Slide 43. And then the big thing here with Tesla, right, is on Thursday, the board is going to be voting on Musk's compensation package. But if you're looking at the poly market or the Kalshi prediction markets, they're pricing in like 95, 96% on this thing passing. So I know, what was it? The Norwegian Sovereign Wealth Fund was like, we're not going to support him, support this pay package. So it should be interesting to see how that comes.
What do these Norwegians have anything to do with this?
They manage a shit ton of money.
They have
and
a
that's the
very
technical term.
They have a very large amount of money.
So
Speaking of Norway, though,
an obscene amount of money.
so they're big shareholders in the company, so they have a
Yeah.
lot of votes.
Yes.
yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. Speaking of Norway, though, if we're going back to that beta, they're actually doing demonstration test flights, testing operations in Norway with these electric, they call them C-tolls, right? So we have EV-tolls, which are electric vertical takeoff and landing vehicles, and then C-tolls, which is a conventional takeoff and landing vehicle. So it's going to use a runway just like a plane. But it's fun to see all this innovation actually kind of taking life, right? Especially within aviation, the big thing that we're watching for is the FAA. So it's going to take some time. Everybody is kicking the can down the road for as far as when they're going to be delivering on these aircraft, but it's exciting. It's absolutely exciting.
Riley, is this
It
your
smells
favorite,
like a bubble.
Is this your favorite theme right now? The innovation in aviation thing?
I think that's just my favorite theme, like in life, Spencer.
Oh.
I'm like kind of a little bit on
More
the
so than the
spectrum.
batteries or any of these other areas, alternative energy, none of that.
I think transportation is the most exciting industry. And now that we're seeing innovation kick in there, I think the ripple effects that's going to have. I mean, I did a podcast with Michelle Olson, who is a consultant within the advanced air mobility space. She works down here in Phoenix. And what they're thinking about, right? Because if we're going to have autonomous cars, we're redesigning everything that we know about cities. You're going to have autonomous cars. You're going to have much more walking friendly towns. You're going to have this new resurgence of air travel. There's a lot of puzzle pieces to fit into that whole equation. So a lot of opportunity there within the public markets, within the private markets. I think I don't know. I can't think of a more exciting time to be alive. And then JC, to your point about Isaacman getting the nod on NASA, he's a big buddy of Musk. That's exactly what we want to see. He's definitely the man for the job. Like, it's kind of a joke that he was even snubbed there.
I mean, allegedly they're not like friends per se. They've only met a few times, is my understanding. One of my neighbors was the chief of staff of Shift 4, so worked very closely with Jared. And we're root. I mean, they're headquartered right here in my town, so I'm super stoked for it. I mean, I heard that there were some politics involved with why he wasn't the head of NASA, but he seems to be the guy, because from what I understand, and I know nothing, but from what I understand, what his vision is to bring capitalism to space. And it's to allow, private money to fund space exploration, tourism, any kind of mining or anything going on up in space. And then NASA's just there to facilitate it, right? Mm-hmm. So we as citizens aren't paying for it. Private investors, private money is paying for these things. NASA's just there to make it happen for everybody, and I think that's cool.
Dude, it's really cool. It's really cool. It's the aerial economy, man. Like, we're getting airborne, whether it's space, whether it's shorter range air travel. I mean, I don't know if you guys keeping an eye on this Boom Supersonic. It's a privately held company, but it was YC backed company, and they're making a supersonic jet up in Colorado. It's freaking awesome. Like,
what is a supersonic jet?
It breaks the sound barrier.
We're bringing
it's
back
like
the Concorde. Yeah, I was
like
going
the
to say,
Concorde.
we're bringing it back.
That's like that picture with the thing, and then it's breaking. Like, you can see, like, kind of like, right?
Yeah.
That's what I know what that is.
That's the sound barrier. Yeah, that's the sound barrier.
Well, that's pretty cool.
So yeah, bubbles, lots of fun stuff, innovation within aviation, and I gotta give Stripe Press a big shout out. Right, I'm a big book reader. Stripe Press. They make these beautiful books. They're hardcover. They have great little, notes, tidbits. Some of them have visuals. The book Where's My Flying Car is a great overview of like the aviation industry as a whole and how we've stagnated for the last, 50 years in this space. And then this one is called Boom, Bubbles in the End of Stagnation. which is fantastic.
Oh, I heard about that book.
Dude, you got to get it because
Yeah?
it basically talks about how
I tried to read that 1929 book by Sorkin. I tried. It's so boring.
Okay.
let it go. This
Like
one, this one's great.
if I want something old and boring, I like the Money Kings that talks about the Jews back in like the 1800s. I like that one.
That sounds sick.
Like if you want to read like a boring book about like back in the day, that one's way more exciting than the 1929.
The Money Kings?
Yeah, Money Kings. It's all about Jews in the 1800s. It's fucking awesome.
Dude, that sounds sick.
It's so good. It's so good.
I want to get back to this Bubbles book though,
Yeah.
because the really interesting thing in this Bubbles book, like everybody hates on Bubbles, right? We kind of
I love them.
Okay, but JC, you're on the different side of the spectrum for most financial media, most financial talking heads. Everybody's like, "Oh, there's a bubble. It's a scary bubble."
I wish it was a bubble. I love bubbles.
We're in a bubble, but we need bubbles.
I wish you. I honestly, you're wrong, but I wish you were right.
We need bubbles. We need bubbles for innovation, right? Because you need the animal spirits to inject capital into these ideas. If the ideas are going to stick and the companies are actually like operating a company or a business profitably, these innovations are going to slowly come into our day-to-day life. So we need bubbles, right? Like look what happened following the .com bubble. We had this massive resurgence in internet companies. It took a few years after the bubble popped, but I don't think we would have the internet as of today if we didn't have the .com bubble. So I'm rooting for bubbles. I'm like you, JC. Let's bring on more bubbles.
The Miami skyline wouldn't look like it did if it wasn't for bubbles, right?
Probably not. Probably not.
You know?
Vegas probably wouldn't exist if it wasn't for bubbles, right? Like that had to have been a bubble back in the day. Who builds
the mob.
Or the Jews.
Who builds a freaking
Well, I think it was one
city
Jew
in the desert?
I think it was one Jew, right? It was one Jew.
just one guy. Yeah.
I got one
look.
more chart though. If we're gonna go to Vegas, right?
Yeah.
Can we throw up the Sphere Entertainment? I know I've talked about this a little bit. JC, I want to hear. Did you go to the Sphere the last time you were in Vegas? I know you were
I
out
didn't
there.
go to the Sphere, but I drove by it and I could see it out my window, and it's awesome.
Dude. So it's what's wild, right? This company, I mean, you guys mentioned Palantir's great earnings report, the stock's getting cut on it. Sphere kind of had like a lackluster earnings report, missed analyst estimates on both the top and bottom line, and the stock absolutely reversed. So I don't know if this is a green light to get involved from the get-go, like today, but you got to keep an eye on this thing. I mean, this is the future of entertainment, if you want to put a label on it.
The future of entertainment.
I would say so. They're going to build one over in Dubai. They got.
I like how Strazza puts it about how this is like a rare asset. You know,
totally
like his whole rare asset thing. You know, this is that, right?
Yeah. Well, and then I didn't bring the chart with me, but like kind of going back to the old school big TV screen experience. If you got some time at home, take a look at IMAX.
I've been looking at it. Super high short interest also.
Dude, I haven't heard about IMAX probably since I was like 8 or 9 years old.
The only reason it's been on our radar, the only reason we've been watching and talking about it is because of the short interest. This thing looks great. Honestly, it looks like an airline stock. Coming back. Spencer doesn't think they're pushing up against new all-time highs. I can assure you they are.
Since you brought up IMAX, I'm trying to pull up a chart of Dolby, but for some reason,
which one? So what's Dolby?
It's the same. It's theater. It's like the theater business, right? I mean, I don't know if like that's still like their bread and butter, but Dolby surround sound, right? They did the speakers and all that jazz. It's like audio technology, but I'm sure there's more to it. I don't know the story, but you mentioned IMAX, so I thought about Dolby. And
Dolby
it's still
like shit.
Yeah, it doesn't look. It's still around, but it does not look like IMAX. That's for sure.
It looks like it wants to break below those 2022 lows, but
maybe
we'll see.
IMAX is IMAX is all-time high is 43. We're at 32. All right,
dude.
Anyway,
crazy. But the Sphere,
okay.
Keep an eye on the Sphere.
When JC's in Vegas next time, hopefully he can do some boots on the ground for us. And
I mean, I could have gone to see Backstreet Boys at the Sphere, but
there are worse.
You decided not to go to Backstreet Boys?
I went to the Golden Knights hockey game, which is like if medieval times, you go to medieval times, then a hockey game breaks out. That's what it was like.
Yeah,
it was awesome. It was great.
A good.
We sat right behind the Golden Knights bench.
Wow.
Sick.
Okay, so I know you're a big fan of minor league hockey. Do you like Golden Knights or minor league
big
hockey?
fan's a strong word. I take my kids a couple times a year. Like, I mean, I like it, but I don't know any of the players, or I mean, I know maybe 2 teams.
Yeah, that's okay though. You're just there for the experience.
Yeah.
You're getting close to the glass in a confined space. There's so much energy there. It's great.
And then, every time it stops, they just blast music. The kids are dancing. Like, it's awesome.
It's awesome.
Spencer, you should come. Next time we go to a hockey game in Allentown, you should drive. You're not far.
You're right. I'm not bringing the kid. I'm not my
I know,
baby.
He can't bring the kid yet. Yeah.
He needs big earmuffs if he's gonna go.
It gets loud.
That's
One of my
not gonna-
kids, even last year, was still a little bit scared. Every time they'd score, he'd be freak out. He'd be like, "What the fuck is that?"
Yeah. Okay. All right. Hey, wow, it's late. Time flies when you're having fun. Let's get out of here, everyone. Thank you for watching. Thank you to Riley and to Brian, to Kenny. If you're watching us on YouTube, do me a quick favor. I really would appreciate it if you just hit the like button. I say it all the time, but it really does help. It helps us. It helps this video get recommended to more people. So we appreciate that. We love the likes. Kenny Glick will be live on the channel in about an hour from now, 11 o'clock Eastern time. So have Sean live with What Are My Options at noon. Jeff Mackey live at 1 o'clock for his weekly show. And Riley wrapping the day up at 5 o'clock with Godspeed, right? That's what we got. That's the plan today.
Yeah, don't miss that. I'm bringing on Brett Conrad. We're gonna be talking about airplanes and stuff.
Are you
it's
serious?
fun.
Oh,
Brett Conrad. Speaking of people who snowboard, Spencer,
And fly planes.
he's an excellent snowboarder, by the way.
And
He's way better than Riley.
Guy's a renaissance man.
No
All right.
comment.
Thank you for watching. Go make some money. Adios.
Thanks, folks.
Later.
I can't take no loss. I don't even know what it costs. I hit the ground, then I go